Camden, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
How does it feel to be on Fire Talk Radio?
It's nice. You got a nice little setup going here.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the little grass going on.
Yeah. That means a lot
Uh-huh.
for me hearing from you, considering you're in arts and media.
Thanks.
Because if there's anyone that would know if we're doing it totally wrong on the show, it would be you.
Yeah, maybe.
So it would be like let's say I design an electric car and Elon Musk was in the room.
Okay.
That would be like I'd be sweating bullets.
That's fair.
Okay, so you are this is your first year at SEU Carolina.
Yes.
What has your first year been like?
It honestly has been really good. I'm really enjoying it. There's a lot more flexibility with my classes than I was expecting. I like just the once a week, hammer it out over a couple hours, really diving deep into some of the topics.
Yeah.
Right now I'm in New Testament, so just with Sam DeBrocca.
Yeah.
So he goes right in, he uses our whole 3 hours. It's fantastic. He dives in.
Yeah, you're in that once a week class with Sam DeBrocca.
It's fantastic.
Do you like a once a week class as opposed to a block schedule class that's twice a week?
At the start, I did not. I was like, oh, I'm still in class. Okay.
You were throwing down those Red Bulls.
Yeah. But after a while, I'm like, no, okay. My stamina for class started picking up and adapted. It went well.
Yeah. Now, you actually, I saw you at the lecture last night. You actually attended the lecture that Easton gave on typology. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, that was good. I haven't seen Easton in a while, so it was cool. The last time I saw him, I was like really small. Yeah. He was in practicum for youth when I was a youth student.
Okay. Wow.
So it was cool seeing him, and he was using a lot bigger words.
Yeah.
He did
I think one of the words he dropped, meta-narrative. Meta-narrative,
yeah,
people.
that was right over my head.
Now, what's funny is that would seem like a very simplistic word, but that's probably one of the only ones I could pronounce that he did, because it's joining two words that I already know. Yeah. Some of his other words were a little too deep, but anyway, well, let's dive back in. Let's talk about you. So you were originally enrolled at SEU in Lakeland, Florida. Yes. And then you transferred here to SEU Carolina Regional Campus. What, if you don't mind me asking, what is the reason for that transfer, and how has that transition been for you?
The transition's been great, honestly. I loved my time in Lakeland. I loved my people there. I actually have flown down a couple times and hung out with my friends I made there, but I was just weighing my options, and my parents are here, my family's here, my community's here. And when I was there, I really dived deep in classes. Like, I got a really rich understanding from my classes there, but I felt a hole in my ministry. I kind of felt like I put a backseat on that, and I was just learning. Yeah. And I really like creating, and I like making sermon series, and I like just designing and using that as my form of ministry, and I was lacking that. So coming here versus there, it just gave me the opportunity to still learn, yes, but also be able to walk in that ministry at the same time. And I love that.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Camden, because I feel like that's one of the important hallmarks of our program here at SEU Carolina. Students are, of course, pursuing Christ-centered education, either at the 2 or 4 year level, and they're immersed in academics and getting a biblical worldview. But at the same time, they're also getting a hands-on education through something that is known as practicum. Practicum is practical hands-on learning experience. For our listeners who may not know about it, this is something that students get credit hours for, 3 credit hours a semester, and they also get scholarship hours for those practical hands-on experiences, because we believe that your experience is best encountered when you get outside of the 4 walls of the classroom and you're actually able to put the things to use that you're learning. So you're enrolled in the School of Arts and Media. So you love creative, you're a digital media guy. So you are currently fulfilling your practicum hands-on learning experience in the story department at
Yes.
Multiply Church. Tell me about that. What is that like for you? What's it like to work in the story department?
It's fantastic, honestly. I was kind of questioning going into it because I was like, that's a lot of responsibility. But it honestly has just been an opportunity for me to thrive. So what it looks like is I have office hours that I go in throughout the week, and I just create and are assigned projects. So for example, I'll be making slides for Sunday mornings for our announcements in Multiply Church, and I'll just be a part of Pastor Doug vision casting and helping him practically, artistically demonstrate the vision that he's trying to communicate through his sermons. And just being able to express that and working on having deliverables, so practical stuff like we are in Easter season right now. It's Holy Week. So I hand worked on sending mailers out to every family within 15 minutes of the church. Designing that. We have billboards going out, just working on getting all this stuff done.
So it sounds like in the story department, you get exposure to what it's like to work with a client who has a vision, an expectation, a dream or a desire, and then you have to bring that dream alive. And you also get to work on different digital assets that a client will want to interact with. So I think it's really cool that you're getting experience, not just working with a client, but then also working on those deliverables. And I think it's very interesting. Most people don't know the challenges or the differences between the type of format that your design needs to be in if you're posting it online versus if you're printing it, or even the size, different pixels and different dimensions for different types of product. And as a designer, these are all things that you need to know and you're getting exposed to. So I love that you're getting that hands-on experience. There's one hands-on experience, well, actually two that we'll talk about today. The first I'd like to talk about is the new sermon series that Multiply Church did known as Rivers. So what has it been like for you to work on that project for that new sermon series?
It's been really great. Rivers was my third sermon series here. So by the time we started working on Rivers, I was in my groove. I had some trust amongst my superiors and the pastors. And this one I kind of like spearheaded with just the process. So practically what that process was we go into a meeting and Pastor Doug explains his idea. So he says, I have this idea called Rivers for a sermon series. It's going to be from March to, I think we're in it a long time. I think it's to Father's Day. And he basically just says, I am tackling the rivers of Eden, and I'm going to be preaching through that. So we go, great, that's fantastic. What are you feeling? That gives me nothing. So we're talking about it, and he gives us all of his scriptures. He'll say, this is what I'm reading from. These are the main points I want to hit home. This is just what I'm trying to communicate through this. So then we pick his brain after this, and we say, okay, how does this feel? When you think of it, is this modern feel? What are we emphasizing in this? Are we emphasizing the rushing waters, or is it a little more classical? So one of the things he mentioned and really hit home with me was a lot of times today Christians like to overuse the word flood. And say the Holy Spirit floods and all this things. And he's like, no, that would be detrimental.
Rushing in like a tidal wave. We love our water metaphors.
We do. So one of the things he emphasized is just that the Holy Spirit and water and the way that it works is meticulous. And a river has a gentle path. So we got this feeling of classical art that we were brainstorming with him, and just like a Renaissance period of art.
Okay.
So then we take that meeting and we go back and we have our own brainstorm without him to dive creatively into it. So we dove and we researched and we read over the scriptures he gave us.
Okay.
And me, Drea, and Alan, our department, felt like we were getting this almost like romantics period of paintings.
Love it. Love it. Now tell me this before we carry on, just for our listeners to have context. You're in the story department. Philip, he's a student that's in the story department. You have Alan, he's enrolled with us at SEU Carolina. He's in the story department. And then you have Drea. You mentioned Drea and Alan and yourself. What are the roles and responsibilities? What do each of these entities do in the story department?
Yes.
Including yourself.
So I take the role as graphic designer.
Okay.
Alan is our director of video.
Okay.
And then Drea is our director of the story department. So
Gotcha.
she's over us.
Gotcha. So you got your project manager, you got your video guy, and you got your graphic guy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Continue.
Yeah.
So this Renaissance, romantic period style design with this smooth flowing river. What do y'all do with that?
So we were like, that's fantastic. We want to make this painting. And it kind of got assigned to me because I was kind of the one spitballing the ideas. And if you're the one who's coming up with the ideas, you're the one who's delivering.
Oh, you were the talker in the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I sit down on my computer and I'm like, all right, I'm going to make a painting. I can't make a painting on my computer. That doesn't work that way.
So you attempted.
I attempted.
Gotcha.
I tried all the AI things to make me a painting. It did not work.
Okay.
It did not work. So then kind of went to the drawing board, and then we have Bree Arrowwood on staff. She's in charge of the creative community.
Okay.
And one of the people in the creative community is this painter named Ara Cho.
Okay.
She paints in Uptown Charlotte. She's fantastic.
You know, she actually went to university for that. Like she's highly trained, highly qualified.
Yeah.
Like she knows what she's doing.
I learned that through this project. So she did like the interpretive paintings in service. So we were like, let's reach out to her.
Okay.
Let's pick her brain. Let's see if she can do it.
Okay.
And then we just visioned and had this idea of this video of her painting a piece. And then I said, how about we take it a step further? How about in the video, the piece that she's painting is our final look for Rivers?
Okay.
So we reached out to Ara. She was completely on board. She absolutely fantastic, volunteered to do it for us. And then we bought a 5-foot by 4-foot canvas. I mean, the thing is huge.
That's a massive canvas.
It is absolutely huge.
Okay.
So we filmed the video. She started painting it, and from there,
you're filming her painting.
We're filming her painting.
Okay.
We draped canvas in the lobby.
Okay.
And just had all her paint out and filmed this video of her painting.
Okay.
But then from there, we had this massive painting.
Okay.
And we were like, this has to be for our screens, but it's a painting and it's so big. How do we make that work? So I had to research scanners, seeing if we could scan it. That didn't work.
Okay.
It was too big.
Kind of hard to scan a 5-foot.
Kind of hard to scan a 5-foot painting.
Yeah.
So then finally I think we ended up taking a collection of pictures.
Okay.
And then merging them together.
Okay.
Into a screen. So we had this screen, but then we were sitting there and we were like, how can we honor Ara in her painting?
Okay.
Because she did this amazing work for us, and we don't just want to go put this painting in storage. Like that seems redundant.
Okay.
So we were like, how can we make this more than just a sermon series? We were completely dreaming at this point. The pastor did not have any expectation of this from us.
Okay.
So we said, how can we elevate this? We're in this series for more than 2 months. Let's build it up. So then we just began dreaming and began praying and was seeing this imagery of an art gallery.
Okay.
And just classical paintings, like
Yeah.
the Renaissance idea with a very clean museum look.
Yeah.
So we said, let's make a museum.
Yeah.
So we started and we were like, all right, we're going to convert the Connect Center at the church into an art gallery. And we asked Pastor Bill and he said no. He said, no, that is a functional place.
That would have been a baller idea. Yeah. Absolutely.
He said, we need that for other things. So we said, okay, yes, sir. So we then decided, well, let's physically make our own gallery.
Yeah.
So we had the idea to construct flats.
Okay.
So 8 feet by 8 feet flats.
Yeah.
That are now sitting in the lobby that we can hang the paintings on.
Okay.
And we said, well, if we only have one painting, that might look a little silly.
Okay.
So we went back to Ara and we said, Ara, thank you so much for your paintings. Can we have 4 more?
Church Ministry 101 right there. Great job. Thanks for your ministry. Let's go in some more.
So she gave us 4 more paintings.
Wow.
And she did it with a smile on her face. She said, thank you for letting me express this more.
Yeah.
So we said, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we hung the paintings on these flats. We painted them white so it had a nice museum look.
Yeah.
And then we had the scripture attached to them.
Yeah.
So then this is all the practical side.
Yeah.
Along with that, we had to work on the screens for Rivers.
Okay.
So
now these screens, you're talking about the big, massive screen that they would have on the stage at Multiply Church. That is in the back of the musicians, and that would be displayed behind Pastor as he's preaching. Okay, so tell me about that project. What was that like?
Yeah, so that one was fun. That was a lot of learning on my half, my own strong suit.
Okay,
so we started with it, and we were just going to do the painting. Like I said, having the different scans be behind Pastor Doug as he's preaching. And then when we were in the meeting, I forget who mentioned it. I don't want to give myself credit if I didn't mention it.
Love it. He's a humble guy, ladies and gentlemen.
Someone in the meeting with Pastor Doug mentioned, what if the water moved?
Okay.
To demonstrate an active river. So the painted water behind Pastor Doug, what if it passively moves through the entire sermon? Okay. So I said, bet, let's do it. So I was like, all right, let's get this water to move. So I sit down on my computer, open After Effects, and I'm like, I'm going to move this water. Okay. So the first thing I do, I go into YouTube, I look up how to move water in a painting on an image. Okay. And I found like 1 or 2 videos. Okay. And it would have taken me probably 4 months. Really? I had no clue.
Okay. And obviously you don't have that long for the series launch.
No, I don't. Yeah. We're talking 2 weeks out right now.
Oh my gosh.
We're getting tight. Yeah. Pastor Doug gave us probably...
You better throw that thing on an easel.
I know, yeah. I think he gave us 5 weeks. Okay. And we're at week 2. So I'm like, okay.
All right. So what'd you do?
So I said, who do we know? So I asked Drea, I said, do we know any motion graphics animators? Okay. And so she did her research. She reached out to a couple of guys. Okay. And we sent it out. I communicated with them. Okay. Just explained the process. We went through a couple rounds of changes, got Pastor's opinion, saw what he liked. Mm-hmm. And then from there, the guy's name was Jake, really, really talented. He gave us this amazing video. I don't know how he did it, honestly. It just the whole time the water trickles down. Yeah. And we showed Pastor Doug and his mind was blown.
Dude, my mind was blown. When I saw it at church on Sunday, when y'all did the big reveal, it was next level. Yeah. Here's what I love about this. You're being given a project and an assignment, and you really have free reign to decide and to interpret how these things are going to be communicated and how we're going to pull this off. And what I love is that for you as a student, even though there were moments in the project that reached beyond your scope of development or your scope of learning, you still pushed ahead to either challenge yourself to learn how to use different software tools and watch tutorial videos. You're a self-learner, self-starter, self-motivator, or you reached out to people who were experts in that field, in that industry. And but even then, even though they were the ones, like Ara was the one who was painting the project, you were still in control of the project as it pertains to conveying the vision for the client.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a large part that a designer plays in the arts and media universe. And you got the opportunity to do that. So tell me this, what did it feel like for you when everyone got to witness this unveiling when the sermon series launched? How did it feel for you to see a project go from ideation to completion?
That was the most stressful Sunday I have
Stressful?
ever felt.
Bro, it's the party. It's the big reveal.
But
what were you stressed out for?
I was stressed because it was all out of my hands. We sent it over to the media team to have them show it that Sunday. And I walked in and said, I hope they like it. And so I walked in the building so stressed.
Almost like a painter going to their own art show.
Yeah.
On the first day, their products are getting revealed.
So I got to church early that Sunday. And one of the things I love about practicum with the story department is I'm not up on stage.
Yeah.
People don't know that I work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
They think I'm just another guy at church.
You're at the back of the house.
Yeah.
You're behind the scenes.
So they didn't know I had any involvement, our congregation. So I got to church early that Sunday and I just sat and people watched them go up to the gallery.
No way.
It was a really cool experience watching them all go, oh, nice, as they came up and looked at the gallery and admired it. And then it was a really cool feeling in the room when they put the slide up saying Rivers and watching people go, oh, okay. And I thought it was just ending there. And then slowly seeing people lean in and seeing the water move. Like, nice.
My mind was blown when I saw it.
Yeah.
It was pretty incredible.
Thank you.
I was impressed. I was impressed that the team had pulled off such a modern marvel. Yeah. And had took a classical piece, a painting, and made it come to life. Yeah. And I feel like mission accomplished.
Thank you.
So now let's talk about a second piece. So it's currently at the time of recording this broadcast, we're in the middle of Holy Week. Good Friday is tomorrow. Yes. And actually, no, it's 2 more days. So in my mind, it's Thursday.
Oh, I got you.
So we've got Good Friday coming up. We've got Easter coming up Sunday. So for you, what are the digital assets that you worked on for this week?
A lot.
Okay.
So just a disclaimer, we were working on Easter in between Rivers projects. Okay. So Easter took a lot of work. We, in our Easter brainstorming meeting, we just decided and came to this conclusion that Easter means different things to different people. Okay. And Easter, like the term creasters.
I'm sorry, did you say creasters?
Creasters.
What's a creaster? I'm sorry.
Creaster.
What's a creaster?
Someone
which rhymes with preacher.
Who goes to church Christmas and Easter.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a really big evangelistic holiday.
Gotcha.
You don't normally go to church, but you're like, oh, it's Easter, I should go to church.
Gotcha. Okay.
So for Easter, we're tackling more people than just the normal Sunday attendees. Yeah. So we said, how can we best help and communicate to the different audiences of church? Yeah. The people who aren't normally in church, but then also the people who are there every Sunday morning. So we decided for our marketing for Easter, we were going to have an internal and an external branding. So to kind of tackle them separately. So internal is Multiply Church congregation. And then external would be the Cabarrus County people. So for the external, we came up with Easter at Multiply. So it's real simple. There's no churchy language. There's no words that would scare someone away.
Gosh, it's just Easter and service times.
Easter service times.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
It's flowery. It's bright. It's gonna be great.
Pastels. It's
There's an Easter egg hunt for your kids.
Yeah.
You got some. You can get away for your kids for a little bit, and they have a service.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
But then internally, Pastor Doug just conveyed us this message of all things new.
Okay.
So Christ makes all things new through his resurrection.
Okay.
But if you say Christ makes all things new through his resurrection, someone who's never been in a church before says, I don't know half of that sentence.
Okay.
So that doesn't work for them.
Okay.
So all things new, we created this kind of just this illustration of the earth, the cross, and the glass city kingdom of heaven.
Okay.
So
I've seen it. It's giving Lord of the Rings. It's very Return of the King.
It's
yes. Very
that was a fun project. That was hey Camden, I need you to make a piece or a picture that has an earth on it, a cross on it, a bridge on it, and a castle, and it's all in the sky, and there's clouds, and the castle's made of glass, and it's as defined in Revelation 22. Okay,
wow.
Thank you.
Wow, it's like you're playing charades.
Yeah, it was like almost like ChatGPT. Like, here's your prompt. You know, go make it.
Okay.
And I think I delivered in a way that helped their message. And
no, you did great.
Thank you. But we had a lot to deliver. So all things new, we had screens that we needed for that. We needed the big LED screen. We needed the side screens. We also had Good Friday that we had to do the same. We needed LED screens, side screens, and then promotion for that. So that's touch cards, that's social media posts, that's videos.
Okay.
And then Easter at Multiply, we had mailers that I mentioned went out to a lot of the neighborhoods in Cabarrus County. We had a billboard that went up on exit 58.
Okay.
We had social media posts. We had touch cards. We had pushes in service for it.
You're creating all the digital assets.
We're creating
the print media for all of this.
I think when I wrote it out, I had 21 deliverables.
21 deliverables. 21. So here's what I love that's fascinating. Mm-hmm. You're a student in the School of Arts and Media, and you haven't graduated yet, but yet you're already getting immersed in what it's like to work in a studio, in a department that's servicing a client, and you're not just in a classroom, but
I have a desk.
Yeah, you're getting practical, hands-on experience. That's what I love. I love that so much about our program. So now one of the assets you're actually wearing today, right?
I am.
Yes, I am. Now tell me about this. What is this?
So we, on top of the deliverables for the screens, we said we are going to have thousands of people in the room.
Okay.
Let's create some merchandise for them. Let's create wearable communications of Jesus's message. Yeah. So our Good Friday service this Friday, at the time of recording, is going to be about the 7 sayings of the cross. Okay. Pastor Doug was speaking to it, and he said this is going to be a more dark service. This is going to be it's a Good Friday service. Yeah. Emphasizing
it's dark and gloomy. It's the cross. It's the death.
So we said, what if we create almost like a band tee, like a rock and roll black T-shirt, Okay. That whole feel. So this is the piece.
Love it. What does it say?
It says He paid it all.
Okay.
And then it's Christ's face.
Yeah.
Got a tear of blood.
Okay.
And then
what are these little sayings everywhere?
Scattered across are Jesus's last 7 sayings on the cross.
Stop it. So 7 sayings.
Yeah.
On the shirt. On the dark shirt.
It is finished. I thirst. Woman, behold your son.
Now, is all this in English? Can we read this, or is it in like Hebrew?
No, it's in English. It's just small.
That would have been awesome.
But this was one of the pieces we did. This was
I love it. I absolutely love it.
It's dark. It's gloomy. It's streetwear.
Yeah.
It's capturing that younger audience.
Yeah.
Bringing them into the church through merchandise.
I love it. So, how does it feel to wear something that you've designed?
It's pretty cool. I like it a lot.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not a big time merch guy.
Yeah.
And I feel like, now, you might not like this as a creative, but I feel like it's a racket. I feel like y'all just make stuff for us to have to buy that we have to wear. And every sermon series has to have merch. Every year, every word of the year, every 21 days. I feel like we just get inundated with clothes.
Yeah.
I've been in church ministry at this church alone for 13 years. Your mind will be blown at the mountain of merch that I have had.
Yeah.
In fact, you would probably appreciate it as a designer, getting to watch through the decades of all the different design styles and font types and colors. And some of it would probably make you cringe. But however, because it's you and you designed it, I'm going to get that shirt.
Thank you.
And I'm going to proudly wear it. So I think it's really cool. Well, Camden, let me ask you, I don't know if our executive producer let us do this, but I would love to actually leave the studio and actually see some of these pieces.
Okay.
So can we do that? Is that okay? Can we leave the studio? Is this possible? Can we do this?
Sure.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So I don't think I have ever left the studio in the middle of a recording before.
I don't think you have either.
This is wild. Really looking forward to it. Well, let's go check out this museum piece. You excited about seeing your work?
Of course.
Is it this way?
Yeah.
All right, let's check this work out. Oh my goodness. Upon walking in the facility, in the lobby, I see exactly what you were talking about, wanting to create that environment of being at a museum.
Yeah, we tried to keep it elegant. You know, we got the gold-rimmed lights,
the white
all
backdrop.
white. Yeah, just help it come off the wall more.
Yeah. I love how y'all hung the canvas. Now tell me, is this the main central painting that you were referring to?
Yes.
That you had created by a local artist?
Yes, this is our painting by RHO from our church. She just beautifully demonstrated the rivers of Eden and kind of just the movement in the water, and she just did a great job.
Yes, that's great. And I love how you have lots of greenery, the blues of the water, and then things in bloom and blossom. It's alive. It's like a living piece.
Yeah.
I really like it. It has a good vibe. Now, did you say in our recording in the studio that you had another piece that you had created that you digitized and created motion to the water?
Yeah, so we took this piece and we took it to our studio.
Okay.
And basically this was all on the ground. So we put it on the ground and then rolled a crane camera over it to get a scan of it once we set our lights and stuff.
Okay.
Just to get a digital copy, edited that, got the lighting how we wanted it, and then we extended the sides out so that it would fit our LED screen.
Can we take a look at the LED screen now?
Let's do it.
Let's check it out. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Dude, that looks extraordinary.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
So is the river actually moving?
Yes, the river is moving.
That is extraordinary. Wow. Man, for those that are listening to the podcast, listening to the audio recording, I really hope you take a moment to go back and look at the video feed of this, because this is extraordinary. So this looks exactly like the same portrait we were looking at outside.
Yeah, this is the exact same painting. We just scanned it for a digital copy so that we could manipulate it and work on it for our screens.
Now you said you made it wider.
Yeah.
Was this digitally created, or did you have RO paint a wider version of this? Explain that to me.
So
What do you mean when you say you made it wider?
yeah. So what we did was, if you're looking, the center piece here,
Okay.
almost like the center square of it, is the actual painting.
Okay.
But all these sides right here,
Gotcha.
I just made in Photoshop with brushes
Wow.
to kind of just extend it.
Dude, it looks like it's the legitimate painting.
Thank you.
You did a great job on this. And what software did you use to do that?
This is all Photoshop.
This is in Photoshop. Now, now tell me this. What is this on? Is this LCD, LED? What kind of technology are we talking about here?
Yeah, so this is our LED wall here at the church. What these are squares probably this big.
Probably what, like 12 by 12 or 8 by 8?
Yeah, 8 by 8, I think.
Okay.
There's 128 pixels vertically, 128 horizontal. So what they do is they stack these, and then our computer algorithm sees, hey, these are all put together.
Okay.
This is one screen we can work on.
Now, let's talk about probably the most fascinating thing that I'm looking at right now. The picture is moving.
The picture is moving.
It is.
Yes.
You've taken a picture and turned it into a video. Dude, my mind is absolutely blown right now. I can't.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Thank
So
you.
talk to me about this.
Yeah.
About this motion.
So in that vision meeting that I had mentioned that we had with Pastor Doug, he really just cast this this image of the rushingness of the water and the movingness of the water of the rivers. So we knew that this was a piece that we had to hit home with this. It's
Bro, this
one
is a
thing
home
to
run.
have a river, it's another thing for the river to move. So what our animator Jake did was he took layer by layer in a animation software and had it rise and fall passively, starting at the top, moving down to kind of just demonstrate this waves.
That's incredible, man. I can see as it ebb and flows. I can see as it rises and falls.
Yeah.
What's crazy is you can actually follow where it starts at the top of the mountain as it flows down into the valley. It's extraordinary, man. It's incredible. You got to be so proud.
I am.
You and the team did a really good job on this.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to walk us down to see some of your work.
Yeah, no worries.
Well, let's head back over to the studio.
All right.
Camden, thanks so much for taking us on a walking tour.
Yeah.
And getting to experience in person a lot of your designs.
Thank you.
And we're so blessed to have you on campus at SEU Carolina, but also at Multiply Church to get to be able to see you and God use you in your creative gifts. So we can't wait to see what you end up doing in life.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So, and thanks for coming on the show today. Well, everybody, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning